But so let's bring up David from the Billy team.
Hello, GM. Thanks for having us on.
Absolute pleasure. We've been trying to make it happen for a little bit, and it's great to have you here. For people who don't know, what can you tell them about Billy?
Right, so I think Billy, so sort of the intro to Billy and how it started is like a multi-layered CTO.
CTO is community takeover for people who are not in the meme coin trench.
Thank you, yes. So it launched from Pump and, the dev sort of just dumped his bag. Community took it over. Community was great. We were getting a lot of traction, a lot of social engagement, and people were loving it. But then there was, some situation we ran into where we actually didn't own the socials and the original dev did. So there was at this point where we were getting sort of muted on Telegram, they're banned or didn't have control of X. So the other CTO was, while all that was happening, we had to create another Telegram, another Twitter, all that behind the scenes. And I still remember creating the Telegram and having the voice chat up with like 300 people, and you would think that'd be chaos, but it was more like people were quiet. People were like, oh, I'll take that job. I'll help create that Telegram channel. It was this multi-layered CTO, and that sort of trial by fire really forged the Billy community.
I think it's pretty incredible for people who aren't familiar with like how CTOs work. So as you said, whoever started the token initially on Pump had some tokens, they immediately dumped them. And then you and some other community members thought that there was something here, some kind of like unifying force to push it forward. Is this like a literal explicit kind of effort? Do you find people just organically jumping in? How did the CTO team kind of come together?
It was very organic from like day one. It was just people who loved the dog and really saw the vision of it. And I think what really drives the community to Billy is when you have such, like, as you said, it's such a fucking cute dog, right? When you have this cute dog with like such a simple thesis with the name, implying this implicit journey, and you put that against the zeitgeist of scams, pump and dumps and all that, it's sort of something people could rally behind, and the community sort of got behind that and really took it over.
I think a lot of meme coin communities are known for being cesspools. There's no other way to say it. They're disgusting and kind of toxic. That's not been my experience with the Billy community. What have you guys done, or what kind of tactics or strategies have you used to make sure that this is more of a friendly, welcoming kind of community rather than an adversarial one?
Right. So as mentioned before, like, it's all about trust. So like this implicit journey I talked about, if you imagine we're sort of the communities in this car and we're riding along the journey, you have to have like trust in the driver that we're going to get there. You're going to have trust in the person who's controlling the radio, that they're going to play music you like. So it's basically community members are the driver. They're basically moderating. They're basically having conversations with other groups. It's the people in charge of the radio. So the people who are doing, we have some really cool songs from community members and cool memes. So creating this trust and letting people sort of take over and sort of drive this journey has really let Billy become what it is. There's really no like one, two, or three, or a group of people saying like Billy should head this way. It's more like the community's in this car. We're driving together on this journey, and people sort of decide if we want to make pit stops, what music we want to listen to, and sort of just drive the car with a community-driven fashion. I think the layer of like the foundation of trust is built by that trial of fire I talked about earlier. But then it goes on beyond that. So like there's people in my community who I'm fully doxed to. There's also people like you just want to engage with who I talk to and you get to learn about on a personal level. So I've like furthered my professional career just talking to people in the Billy community. There's people who live near me who want to grab drinks. There's people who in my hometown who want to grab drinks. Yeah. So it's all about like trusting that the community has the best interest and just putting yourself out there, because like there's really no other way than like, wow, I really do feel the Billy community is here for the best interest and the holders have the best interest in Billy at heart. So I'm going to put myself out there, and it just worked. And people, the community, just want to learn more about each other. They just want to engage with each other, and they just love having this dog that has this great mimetic tool to it that you could just like have infinite memes with it. Like the ceiling is unlimited. You could do anything with it.
If you're interested in learning more about Billy, stay tuned to their socials, to the Jupiter socials. We'll get a Twitter space going maybe this week or next week with genuine articles and some other folks. David, thanks so much for coming on. I guess the last question here is what's next for Billy?
Right. So the core principle is always just onboarding and making sure people have fun. Of course, we're always going to have announcements going on, and just keep in tune with our socials, because we're always going to have things rolling out to announce. But at the core of it, it's really just onboarding and engaging, because without like having fun on our car ride, if I'm alluding back to that metaphor, it's just going to be like, are we there yet? And you don't want that. You sort of want to just enjoy the car ride and enjoy the stops, the unplanned stops. And even if like you get a flat tire along the way and you have to fix it, you want to have enjoyment in that process. So onboarding and making sure that the community is having fun is like the number one priority going forward.
David, thanks so much for coming out, man. Shout out to the PPP mentality.
Awesome. Thanks so much.